Mangwana ni mwalelepo vukenja ni Vanave Africa. Welcome to Africa Good Morning on the 20th of August as we bring you the latest news stories stemming from the African continent and beyond. Some of the top stories we'll be looking at today is Eskom expecting a 36% tax increase. Kenya is set to bring back some of those scrapped contentious laws, which obviously means that there is the possibility of protests. And informal traders are presenting a complex problem for the Zimbabwean government. We'll also be talking to Mike Sichula as he brings us the news stories from Zambia. DSTV 285, GoTV 25, oneup2.com is precisely where you can find us. My name is Ashwin Berry. Top stories after the break.
Neo Paints has established a 67-year Namibian legacy, creating personalized paint solutions that blend quality and innovation for the Namibian people. We pride ourselves in being a 100% Namibian-owned company, investing in our country and our people by employing and empowering true Namibians. With every brushstroke, Neo Paints commits to our quality guarantee and always delivering a coat of excellence. At Neo Paints, we always stay true to our country. We are as Namibian as you.
These are the top stories on Africa Good Morning. We start off in South Africa, where Parliament is set to debate the substantial electricity hike proposed by Eskom. The figures submitted to the National Energy Regulatory of South Africa by the state-owned entity suggest they will seek a 2025-26 financial year increase in the region of 40%. The Democratic Alliance has succeeded in having the Speaker of the House, Toko Didiza, agreed to a parliamentary debate on the issue. NERSA stated on 16 August that the revenue application received was simply a draft. It is important to clarify that NERSA has not yet received Eskom's final application for consideration, read a statement issued by NERSA spokesperson Charles Klebela. Once the final application has been submitted, NERSA will consider the application and diligently adhere to NERSA's regulatory processes, it continued. DA spokesperson on electricity and energy Kevin Milleham explained the draft figures stipulated a 36.15% tariff increase as well as an additional 4% levy for Eskom's clawback account. Now, Kenya's government will bring back some tax measures that it had scrapped after deadly protests in June, the finance minister said, raising the risk of further unrest. John Mbadi told Citizen TV in an interview broadcast on Sunday night that some of the measures would be tweaked and not all would be revived, but they were needed to pay for expenditures including wages for teachers. Some people who were involved in the youth-led protest movement that rocked the East African nation said they were ready to go back onto the streets after the minister's announcement. President William Ruto abandoned the financial bill for his fiscal year June 26, 2024, and later dismissed most of his cabinet, bowing to pressure from protesters who had stormed parliament and launched demonstrations across the country. The bill had contained new taxes and hikes to raise an extra $2.70 billion in plans that the protesters said would pile pressure onto a population already struggling with surging living costs. Now, the brutal rape and murder of a 7-year-old girl has sparked outrage in Ethiopia, with many saying the sentence given to her attacker is too lenient. Given Awat was sexually assaulted, mutilated, and killed by her mother's landlord, Getnet Bayem, last August in the northwestern city of Bahir Dar in the Amhara region. Getnet was last week sentenced to 25 years in prison, which he is appealing against, and the case is now adjourned until October. The mother of the girl, Abe Kelyesh Adeba, tells the BBC that losing her child has left her feeling lifeless. More than 200,000 people have so far signed an online petition demanding a review of the sentencing to reflect the gravity of the crime and to offer support for the grieving mother. Now, moving on, Zimbabwe's capital, Harare, is undergoing a rapid transformation, which has been the proliferation of small informal shops known locally as tuck shops. While they have created employment for many of the country's citizens who are outside of the labor market, neither the stores nor their staff pay tax. In the process, they are pushing out big retailers and wholesalers, presenting a complex challenge for the government, which wants to formalize the economy. Economist Farai Mutabanengwe says this is not a good development, as a country typically would want its economy to consist mostly of large formalized enterprises. The moment you start getting informal businesses taking over the economy, first of all, it reduces the quality of your CBD. It reduces the value of properties, he said, but it also results in things like people no longer remitting taxes, people no longer using formal business channels, and ultimately informality, dollarization of the economy. All of these things, he says, are negative for the economy. Now, in Mozambique, Governor of Cabo Delgado, Valige Taubo, on Saturday delivered 14,000 bags of cement to families in Marokani settlement village, Ankaube district, displaced from the central and northern regions of the province by terrorism. The cement is aimed at improving the durability of the floors and walls of Marokani's residents' homes. Tawabo said that the cement would benefit 500 families in Marokani, strengthening their homes and reducing the production of dust, one of the causes of respiratory diseases and symptoms such as coughing, sneezing, allergies, and lung pain, thereby significantly improving the health of Marokani residents. The cement was provided by the Agency for the Integrated Development Agency of the North, with support from the United Nations Development Programme. Those have been our top stories on Africa. Good morning. After the break, we talk to Mike Sichula as he brings us the latest news stories directly from Zambia.
Welcome to Namibia, where adventure meets tranquility. With Enjoy, you have access to a wide range of accommodations to suit every traveler's taste and budget. Experience the finest dining and hospitality Namibia has to offer. Booking your dream accommodation is just a few clicks away with Enjoy. Join thousands of happy travelers who have trusted Enjoy for their Namibian getaway. Your gateway to unforgettable Namibian adventures. Visit us today.
All right, it's time for us to talk to Mr. Mike Sichula. Mr. Sichula was in Zambia, unfortunately. I didn't manage to see you there. Perhaps our relationship blossoms best across screens, but it was truly lovely being in your city, Lusaka, and it's good to have you here bringing us the news stories as well as you do, Muriwanji.
Muribwanji, I hope you enjoyed the beauties of Lusaka whilst you visited, and I want to congratulate you on your union with your lovely Zambian wife.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. So let's get straight into your top story. The SADC region has backed Zambia's candidate for the African Development Bank presidency.
So the decision was made at the 44th Ordinary Summit of SADC Head of States and Government that was held in Harare, Zimbabwe. So Dr. Samuel Maimba was selected through a competitive process, emerging winner among. So he will be the sole SADC candidate to contest the presidency of the Africa Development in the elections that will be held in May 2025. Dr. Maimba is currently Vice President, Budget, Performance Review and Strategic Planning in the World Bank Group, a position he has held since 2023. Dr. Maimba has also been with the bank since 2021, where he also served as the Chief of Staff in the Office of the President at the World Bank. So this achievement or recognition has somehow been overshadowed by President Hakainde Hichilema not attending the summit in person, but he did attend virtually. And this has been condemned by many sections of society in Lusaka, especially political leaders who say President Hakainde Hichilema needs not to create a lot of tension between Zambia and Zimbabwe, considering that these two countries have been neighbors, and they have been having a cordial relationship for the past many years. So this is something that people have been talking, despite Dr. Maimbe getting this recognition by SADC.
All right, Mr. Sichula, moving on, a cross-section of society in Zambia is opposing the proposal for the country's electricity company to further hike electricity tariffs. We understand Eskom in South Africa just proposed a 40% hike. How's the Zambian attitudes to, I believe it's ZESCO?
Yes, ZESCO. So the Energy Regulation Board has since called for a public hearing consultation meeting regarding ZESCO's application for an emergency, what they are calling emergency tariff adjustment. So according to ZESCO, they have applied to the ERB because they want to meet national demand for power. So they are saying the main aim of the application is to raise revenue amounting to about $14 million to of 300 megawatts of power from South Africa, Mozambique, and the deployment of inland diesel generators. But this is something that a cross-section of society, manufacturers, small businesses are saying you want to increase electricity tariff when the ongoing electricity load shedding is about 17 hours per day. So Zambians are going without power for close to 17 hours, especially this was announced by the Minister of Energy, Makoze Chukote, who said this will be implemented from the 1st of September 2024. So despite this announcement, Zambians have been going for more than 20 hours without electricity. And you can imagine small barber shops, saloons, and just households. So having an electricity high again is something that Zambians have really rejected, and they hope authorities can do something to reverse the proposal.
Yes, indeed, Mike. And now, speaking of health authorities, they've heightened the screening of individuals who are coming from countries where cases of mpox have been reported.
So, monkeypox has been declared a public health emergency by the World Health Organization, and the Zambia National Public Health Institute Assistant Director, Emergency Preparedness and Response, Dr. Paul Zuru, says teams have been stationed at border entry points for where this disease has been detected. So, Dr. Zuru says monkeypox is one of the diseases that have a long incubation period. Hence, the need to screen and take details of people who are coming from high-risk areas. Dr. Zoro has since urged members of the public not to mistaken other similar diseases like chickenpox, measles, among others, for monkeypox. So authorities have also intensified efforts going in communities to sensitize people on the on monkeypox, so that when they come across such a case, they quickly alert health authorities who can attend to it, so that it does not spread further beyond what they can do.
All right, understandably so. We all need to be on our toes and staying aware as the mpox virus seems to be gaining some leg room. Okay, Mike, President Hakainde Hichilema has maintained that Zambia will remain a Christian nation.
So Mr. Hakainde Hichilema was speaking when he graced the 60th anniversary of the Evangelical Fellowship of Zambia at the Bread of Life Blessing Center here in Lusaka over the weekend. So the president merely said this because under his administration, cases of lesbianism, homosexualities have been popping up here and there, where you find people publicly stating their their love for lesbianism and these other issues. So, according to a certain society of people, are saying it seems President Hakainde Hichilema wants to move away from Zambia being a Christian nation. So he used this occasion when he was invited to retaliate that Zambia will remain a Christian nation, and the president also says government will not allow negative or unnatural sexual practices in the country. The president, Mr. Hichilema, says government will not support things that bring problems in the future and are against Christian doctrines. So you can understand his wording and how he wants to to maintain, because his predecessors have maintained Zambia as a Christian nation, and they have opposed moves by the Western governments to introduce unnatural sexual practices. And people have been looking up to President Lungu to state his position, because it seems under his administration, these cases of unnatural sexual practices are on the rise. Just a year or two in his administration, people who support gayism paraded themselves in the streets of Lusaka, something that has never happened before.
Indeed, and you can understand the importance of Hichilema needing to make that clear in the Zambian context. Thank you very much, Mike, for bringing us the news stories as they are from Lusaka, Zambia.
Thank you very much, Africa. Good morning to our dear viewers.
Africa, good morning. Indeed, let's find out if we have an Africa good day with the weather predictions. Now we start our economic news stories in Namibia, where Brazil ambassador to Namibia, Vivian Los San Martin, says trade volumes between Namibia and Brazil are far too low. Here she is in her own words.
Very pleased to see so many businessmen and businesswomen from Brazil and Namibia gathered here today. This trade mission, which is organized by the Brazilian Embassy, the Brazilian Agency for Trade and Investment Promotion, and the Department for the Promotion of Trade, Investment and Agriculture of the Brazilian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, is long overdue. Why? Because borrowing from a statement made by late President Hage Geingob, Brazil and Namibia are neighbors across the Atlantic. And as neighbors, we ought to reach out to each other if we are willing to seize the many opportunities for trade, investment, and cooperation that exist but are, to a large extent, still unknown. Our bilateral trade remains very low and little diversified. Last year, it amounted to $19.5 million, with Brazilian exports directly to Namibia accounting for $12.7 million. And Namibian exports to Brazil, $3.5 million.
Staying with Namibia, Erongo Governor Neville Andre expressed disappointment in the attendance of the first regional public meeting taking place in Sokomundi yesterday, and it was concerning the Roads Authority revision of roads master plans for Oshodonjupa, Omaheke, Kunene, and the Erongo region. Now, this video is courtesy of Leandro Moores.
I see only one mayor. Where are the other mayors? Or even not even mayors, but staff members of the municipality, or those that are responsible for road in their specific towns. We are always complaining that, of course, national roads are good, but the roads in the towns are not good. And this is a platform where we must say that what we want to see in our towns. So I think, although we have planned for this meeting, a very important meeting, but I want to urge that after today, the Road Authority also arrange an engagement with communities, go to the communities and sit down and plan, because we cannot leave them out. Go to, I know of Oshembingwe community who are always complaining about the road between Karibeb and Oshembingwe itself. The people in Walvis, we have bad roads, they want answers. We need really to take such topics very important, because these topics are about life and bread and life of our people. So I just want to share that disappointment. Let us do better. Let us do better in inviting and ensuring that the people come to meet.
All right, let's move over to some international economic news. DP World and the British government's development finance arm are set to break ground on a deep-sea port in the Democratic Republic of Congo as the Emirati logistics company expands its footprint in Africa, Bloomberg reported. British International Investment PLC is investing $35 million in DP World's infrastructure project at the port of Banana, where the Congo River meets the Atlantic Ocean. This follows previous collaborations between the two entities in Somaliland, Egypt, and Senegal. Now, tens of millions of people in southern Africa are suffering effects of El Nino-induced drought, a regional bloc has warned, with a drop in crop and livestock production causing food shortages in several countries. Elias Mahosi, Executive Secretary of the Southern African Development Community, said on Saturday that 17% of the region's population, some 68 million people, need assistance. The 2024 rainy season has been a challenging one, with most parts of the region experiencing negative effects of the El Nino phenomenon, characterized by the late onset of rains, Mahosi said. His remarks come as the heads of state of the 16-nation SADC were meeting in Zimbabwe's capital of Harare to discuss regional issues, including food security. Let's have a look at the economic indicators before we return with highlights from this morning's broadcast. This has been Africa Good Morning on Tuesday, the 20th of August. Let's have a look at the highlights from the broadcast. Eskom's 36% tariff increase Parliament to debate the necessity of massive hike, and this is in South Africa. Kenya to bring back some scrapped tax plans, which is risking more unrest. And Congo to welcome its first deep-sea port with new UK DP World partnership. DSTV 285, GoTV 25, oneup2.com is precisely where you can find us. I'll be back tomorrow, making sure you get the latest news stories stemming from the African continent and beyond. My name is Ashwin Berry. Soda Jakanaka.